First of all, I slowed down, took my time. Landon is an amazing coach, by the way. He kind of coached me through getting the group size to kind of come down, and I actually shot a better group than he did. Oh, that's a 3-shot group, y'all. That is a 3-shot group. That's probably the best group I've ever shot in my life, actually.
Hello.
How to shoot the best group of your life. This has happened with Tate. He shot an incredible one-hole group after he got some shooting tips from this gentleman. Landon, as you were number 3 in the nation for some kind of competition shooting.
Yeah, overall all around. So I shot everything and
everything. What do you mean by
everything? So I guess we shot rifle, shotgun, archery, and muzzleloaders.
Holy mackerel. You got number 3 in the country.
3 in the nation.
So there you go. This guy's been proven he knows how to shoot. What did you tell Tate? Everybody is asking, what did you tell Tate that went from 1.5-inch groups he was shooting to that one hole group?
I hit 3 things, 3 big things, and it was slowing down, taking your time with your shot, breathing, how to control your breathing, breath control, and 3 is just relax. He was super tense on that rifle, so we just had him relax.
Just tension into it.
Yeah.
All right, now let's get some details on this one. The first one, slow down. How slow? Because a lot of times you're out on the range and everybody's kind of waiting for you, or you think like, I got to hurry up and get out of here. I get some more guys in line. Or if you're hunting, it's like, I got to shoot quick. He's going to get away.
Right.
How do you balance that?
So it's dependent on the situation. You know, sometimes it is a snapshot when you're hunting deer, right? They might jump up right here and you only have 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Right? But when you're at a range at the bench, you have all day.
Oh, of course.
All day. So when it comes to just shooting on a bench, you have all the time in the world. There is no time. And there's things you can do to control and speed up when you are hunting in the field. And that just comes with practice.
So obviously I've been there, done that. Not so much on bench competitions or anything like that, but in the field, it just seemed like it evolved. But I'm lucky because I'm old, and back in the day, you had many more hunting opportunities than it seems like we have now. So I had plenty of time to practice, but I don't suppose you can beat it to just be out there. Guys, you don't have to wait for deer season. I think if you're out there practicing by hunting other things, I always say hunt squirrels and cottontails. It's delicious meat, and it gives you a lot of experience in lining up your targets and getting your shots off before something happens.
And they're going to be quick. It's going to be right now. You bust a jackrabbit at 10 yards, you only have a couple minutes.
Now, a couple minutes?
Couple
you got a
seconds.
slow jackrabbit. I think that's a 3-legged jack you're working with. But when you're making these quicker shots, you've got to avoid flinching.
Right.
Well, I don't know if I'd call it target panic, but if you get in a big hurry and you throw your shot like that, you still have to have this control.
Right. You still want I call it controlled mayhem.
Okay.
What happens is it's gonna be shaky.
Yeah.
But you got to control the shake. You just kind of let it float where you want it, and then still be good on your trigger finger. Don't slap it. Don't put it on there and slap it.
That's it. Slapping it. That's what I still catch myself wanting to do that. It's when you want to hurry up that shot and you slap the trigger. The trick is, as you say, get on your target. You're not going to be perfect. Don't wait for that settled in perfect, it's right on. You're on the target. You might be a little left, a little low or something, and just keep your trigger squeeze going despite that little bit of vibration till it breaks.
That's right.
And that might take 2 seconds, and it might take a half a second. As you get experience, you'll just feel it. You just go, that's right, and it breaks. But don't grab at it. That's what throws off your shots, right?
100%. If you have good control on your trigger finger, everything else does its part. I tell people this all the time. If you make a good shot back here, control everything you can control, everything downrange is going to follow.
Cool. So that was point number 2. No, that was number 1. Take your time. Relatively.
Yeah.
So the number 2 is this breathing stuff. Now we've always heard inhale and then exhale and take your shot. Because you've calmed down, the breath is out. Sometimes there's some heartbeat issues involved in that.
That kind of rolls into number 3 as well. The heartbeat issue, I feel like that happens when you have too much on the gun.
Squeezing it too hard, too tense.
Yep. But you can also control your heartbeat a little bit if you breathe in and then let half that breath out.
Okay.
Instead of all of it. You're not sitting right at the bottom trying to take in more air, right?
Yeah, because at some point you're going to say, I need to breathe. My brain's running out of oxygen. And that's not going to work for your shot. You don't want to
No,
shoot
you
when
want to
you're
be
inhaling.
relaxed.
So about half the breath out.
That's what I have found that's best for me, is about half the breath out, and that's when I start my shot.
Now, something that I do when I'm actively hunting, I've done some walking or maybe even running to get in position or something. I will take a couple of good breaths to oxygenate my system before I go into the calming breath. Because if I've been and then I try it, my breathing sequence is way too fast for it to work.
Yeah.
So I do a couple of good deep ones and then I try that.
For sure. However works best for you. What I say to everyone is find what works best for you.
Okay.
For me, it is that typical in, and I'm shooting on the exhale. I'm not at the top of my breath. I'm not at the bottom of my breath.
All right. Now, the last one.
That's the big one, I think.
The big one, yeah.
I think there's certain things you do with a rifle, and everyone thinks you got to really control it. You gotta hold it. It's gonna hit you real hard.
There you go. That's a big one for folks. They think it's gonna kick them so hard that they've got a death grip on it.
Yep. It's not gonna beat you up, especially with a good muzzle device, right? Just get in it, put it on your shoulder, let it sit in your shoulder, and then just hold it. You don't gotta choke it to death. It's not gonna kill you. It's just hold it. You just want it relaxed.
Now you
want
do want to hold it enough to control it when it goes off. You don't want it flying out of your hands.
Right.
So it's kind of a compromise.
For sure, and a lot of it's dependent on the situation. Again, on a bench, it's gonna sit there.
Yeah.
If you're shooting offhand at a deer, yeah, you gotta hold it a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. But it's still, you're not choking it to death. You're just a controlled grip.
And I think a lot of that, guys, is just going to be experience with your particular rifle. You're going to learn after a few shots how much it recoils, how much you have to hang on to it. Just don't automatically get that death grip. And that's a difficult thing to control, too, in the heat of the moment. When that big buck suddenly appears, I think most of us are going to be pretty tight. So you do need to work on that, think about it, run through the exercises mentally. It's just sort of like any jock, any sports person has to run those scenarios through their head and see themselves succeeding on all that kind of stuff. So
I think you nailed it. Don't be afraid to go out and hunt little things, rabbits, squirrels, because it gives you the practice. The more time you have in the field, the better you're going to be.
Absolutely. And it helps get rid of buck fever too once you've been there, done that, although I promise you guys, I still get it.
If it goes away, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, you can control it, but if it goes away, it's like, ho-hum, I might as well take up tennis. One more thing I was going to say about the death grip kind of a thing in the field. Now, a lot of times I know I have been told by guys like you, bench rest shooters, and on the bench, get your thumb off of it so you're not squeezing the grip. But other times guys say you can control it a little better if you do keep your thumb over the top of it, and the rifle is a little better controlled. Joseph Von Benedict said that happened to him down at FTW Ranch. He was just not getting good tight groups. Nothing wrong with them, but they weren't like super groups. And the instructor down there, Doug, ex-Marine sniper, he said, try getting a little firmer grip. So I think you can go too far in extreme. Too much grip, not enough grip. Enough to control that rifle without putting extra shake and tension into it. Seems like the right answer.
Yeah, that makes sense, for sure. And you do want control of your rifle. You don't want it to just be free willy-nilly, just laying there.
Well, see, I do make that mistake a lot of times. I'll just lightly try to just use the trigger and barely touch the rifle because it's solid down in this, all this stuff. Keeps it pretty tight, and I don't want to disturb it. So I just try the little finger click thing. And a lot of guys have yelled at me, written in and yelled at me, justifiably, for saying, Ron, get a hold of that rifle, be a man. I hear you guys, but I am trying to take some advice from others who were going, essentially what they were telling me was bench rest shooter advice with a heavy rifle, and I was applying it to a lightweight rifle, and it doesn't work.
No.
So where do you draw the line on that one? When is it time to hang on to that rifle rather than do what I usually do, which is to use this hand to squeeze the rabbit ears to get precisely on target and then let all the front end?
I think there's a mixture of both. I never loved to control the rifle. but I want to be in control of the rifle, if that makes sense. That's kind of hard to explain. I want the rifle to do its thing.
Yeah.
A good rifle is going to shoot straight. But you have to be in control of the rifle so you don't take the beating, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay, so there's enough control so that it doesn't jump out of your hands and doesn't beat you up. Quick little caveat on that one. Some guys are hard against the shoulder, so you just get rocked back. Other guys a little bit loosely and it kicks you. Some say if it's loose, it's going to hit you with more recoil. I have found that it works kind of either way for me.
So I like to, I wouldn't say bury the rifle in my shoulder, but I want good contact.
To good contact, but
that way
not
it's there,
hard.
right? It's there, and I'm not really pushing and digging into that rifle, but it's in my shoulder. So when it does hit me, it's not slapping me.
Okay, so it's not away from your shoulder.
Yeah,
it's there. It's not lightly there. It's a little bit of pressure, but it's not.
Right. Not enough to make you shake.
Yeah. Good point.
You think bodybuilders, when they're flexing, they're real shaky, right? But if you're just relaxed, everything's smooth and just kind of there. And that's the big thing, is you don't want to be shaky. You want to be relaxed.
All right. When do you decide, when you're bench shooting for accuracy, to control the front of the rifle versus what I do back here?
I really never do. I never control the front when I'm on a bench.
Yeah. What about if you got a big Magnum?
So I guess I've never shot a 416 off a bench.
That explains it.
I believe that a good muzzle device on
that's certainly going to calm it down. But let's just say you're no muzzle device. You're good old-fashioned barrel with the end of the muzzle, and she's going to have some recoil.
Okay.
So I'm controlling it back here.
I would probably hold the rifle, but I wouldn't want to be death gripping it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And you can correct me. I've never shot them big bores off a bench.
I can't correct you. I can tell you what I've figured out. So on bench shooting, when you have a light rifle and it wants to kick off, especially a bigger, hard-kicking 375 H&H 416 Rigby, that kind of stuff, they'll jump clear off of there because of that twist and the torque of it. So how do you control it? I don't want my rifle going bam and falling off the rest. Do you hold a 4-inch stock? Do you hold down on the scope?
So I don't have a ton of personal experience with great big magnums on a bench. I've shot a couple just freehand, just to fill them, but I've never sat at a bench. But I've heard from a smart man that a hand on the scope. Now tell me about it.
Well, I heard from a smart man the same thing, and that's when I started doing it. A lot of guys were saying, Ron, if you got to control those big rifles, put your hand down on top of the scope. And I just thought, that is not a smart way to be shooting a rifle. But then again, I want to figure out what my bench accuracy is. I'm testing the rifle. It's not a field shooting technique necessarily. Maybe I will try it. So when I did that, I found that with some rifles, I shot my best groups holding down. With others, though, I had my old system of squeezing the rear bag to tweak the perfect lineup for that shot. That always works well for me, but once you get to a certain recoil level, you've got to control this thing or it's bouncing off like that.
Sure.
So I think everybody out there who would just do what works for you, try some different things, but do be aware of that. From about, maybe for some shooters, 30-06 with a fairly light rifle is getting enough recoil that it's going to be wanting to jump off too much, and you can go to this. But like the 223s and 243s, 6.5 Creedmoors and stuff, you should be able to just leave that rifle on. Just make sure you're not hitting your swivel stud when a recoil comes back. So you've got a little room to slide back like that. And then you can control it for accuracy back here.
Yeah.
Sound fair?
That's completely fair.
Now, why don't you show us how you're going to shoot a good group? Guys, we don't know if this particular ammo in this rifle will shoot its best groups, but generally, this little Howa 1500 is remarkably accurate.
That's a beautiful lightweight rifle.
Oh, it's so fun to shoot. I took a deer with it a couple of years ago, and I wish I could shoot deer with it every year, but I don't have enough tags.
Seems to be a common problem nowadays.
Doesn't it, though? But let's go. We're going to roll with 140. Matched bullet, so it should be accurate. It's Winchester. I think they'll do okay, but just show us your best group via your technique here.
Okay.
And tell us what you're doing as you're doing it. Hey guys, if you would like to get more involved, sort of behind the scenes and increased information, we do this on Patreon. We really appreciate all of our patrons, and we try to provide a little extra for them. So you'll get some inside stories, some weekly reports, some extra posts and photographs and different things to let us know what, or let you know what we've been doing around here, what we plan to be doing, and some secret tips and hints that we don't always remember to put into all of these videos. For additional content, if you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com, look for Ron Spomer Outdoors account, and sign up there. We'd love to have you. Appreciate it.
So one thing I notice on a lot of people is their trigger finger placement. I really like to get up on this pad, up in here, with my trigger, and I want to pull straight back. If you get up here in this crease, like this, or out on the tip like this, it's gonna move your rifle left and right. You want to be right in the center of that pad, pulling straight back towards the stock. All right, so when I come to a bench to shoot my rifle, the first thing I'm gonna do is sit in a comfortable position, right? I want my feet flat on the ground, and I want to be able to just barely be reaching over and grabbing this rifle. I don't want my feet tucked up like this because it adds tension in your legs. They're bouncy, they're shaky. I want good flat points of contact on the ground. The next thing I do to get a good group for me is I'm going to load the rifle, and I'm going to adjust my up and down by squeezing these rabbit ears. I'm just going to let the rifle set on the front. I'm just going to relax and just barely put my shoulder into this rifle. I want to make good contact, but I don't want to be pushing against it, like grabbing into that rifle. I'm just going to make good contact. I'm just barely going to squeeze them rabbit ears until I'm making good contact, and I'm holding real steady. Now my hand, I usually set like this on a sporterized rifle. I'm going to just barely grab it with my fingers on this stock, and I'm just going to set my thumb right on top. Okay, when I get to there, I'm going to start my breathing in, out, in, and I'm going to go half out and be pulling the trigger. Looks like it shot quite a bit high, but we'll send 2 more just to see what kind of group we can get. I'm just going to follow the same concept. Right there next to it. For a little lightweight rifle, this rifle likes to shoot really straight. One more. It's about a 3/4 incher.
Not bad. Like I say, I didn't know what kind of groups this ammunition would deliver. I've noticed your standard deviations on your velocities were a little wider than I'd like. So I think a 3/4 inch group, that's pretty darn nice. Can I follow your directions and shoot one of my own?
Let's see what happens.
Let's see how bad of a shot I am, because a lot of people say I really suck.
I don't believe it.
Well, it keeps me on my toes, because sometimes I really do suck. You ever notice that some days you just seem to have it, you're calm, and it just feels like, boy, I'm right on. And other days you just cannot get settled. What is that?
I have no idea. I say it's my good days. There's good days and bad days. Like this morning, I think I was telling you. Today I just was holding really well.
Well, let's see what I can do. So one of the problems that you mentioned was putting your feet in the ground. I often find myself on my tiptoes, like you said, not to do. And I'll have to think about it and go, wait a minute, I need to get anchored. I also like to anchor against the bench, so my chest is solid right there. That helps calm down the, oh, you shot for that. Okay, so we're shooting quite high. I'll go for the bottom left then, or the bottom right. You did the bottom left.
Yep.
straight up on my line, so my windage was perfect. My elevation is like you had. Sit, stay, good boy. I was just a little bit to the left when that one broke. I'm talking maybe 1/8 of an inch. And those two bullets are about 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch apart. And that one looks to be right there. Similar to group to yours. I might even beat you by a smidgen.
I hope you did.
So I think the ammunition and the rifle are showing us what they can do. I don't feel like I messed anything up too much on that.
Yeah,
So
your shot looks great.
good tips. I really appreciate that, Landon. So guys, I hope you take Landon's advice and use his techniques because they sure seem to work. The trick is to be consistent, not forget that stuff, and not target panic and all the rest of it, but behooves all of us to be better shooters. So whether you're shooting on the bench to see what your rifle will do or shooting in the field from various field positions to see what you can do, I think you need to do both. Get your rifle all tuned up so you have confidence in it, you know how it shoots. Then when you're doing your field shooting, you'll know whether you screwed up or not because you know your rifle can do it. Landon, thanks for being with us on this one.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Now let's see if we can't get together on a hunt in the field, and I can see if you can control your buck fever.
Let's do it. That's my hard part. I get excited.
All right, we'll see you guys next time. Hunt honest and shoot straight.
It's situation and it's
Situational awareness.
yeah, situational dependency. How do I want to say? It's
I don't know.
dependent on the situation.
Okay.
Hello.